Viktor Frankl was 62 years old when he earned his private pilot's license. He thought nothing of flying himself from Vienna to lectures in other European cities. He was 80 when he climbed a mountain in the Alps. He continued to lecture internationally until he was nearly 90. These are not details about hobbies. They are expressions of a man who inhabited his own teachings completely, who never stopped finding new things worth doing, new audiences to reach, new opportunities to embody the principle that meaning is always available. The lecture career began almost immediately after the war. Frankl had been a successful Viennese psychiatrist and lecturer before his deportation, and he returned to those roles with a different authority, the authority of someone who had tested his ideas at the absolute extreme. When Frankl spoke about meaning as a bulwark against despair, he was not offering a theory. He was offering testimony. His international reputation began to build after Man's Search for Meaning appeared in English in 1959. The book had already gone through several editions in German, but the American edition opened a new audience, and American readers, in particular, responded to it with an intensity that surprised even Frankl himself. Letters arrived from everywhere. Invitations followed. He accepted them with remarkable generosity. Over the following 3 decades, he lectured at more than 200 universities, including some of the most prestigious institutions in the world: Harvard, Stanford, Duquesne, Brandeis. He spoke in Europe, North America, South America, Asia, Australia, and Africa. He held visiting professorships at multiple American institutions. He received 29 honorary doctoral degrees from universities across 5 continents. What made Frankl's lectures so powerful, by all accounts of those who attended, was not primarily the intellectual content, though the content was always rich. It was the presence he brought to them. Frankl did not lecture from behind a wall of professional distance. He was personally present, willing to speak about his own experience, willing to admit uncertainty, willing to engage in genuine dialogue with audiences rather than simply delivering a prepared text. He was also enormously funny. This surprises people who encounter his work primarily through the written page, which carries the gravity of his subject. But in person, Frankl was warm, playful, and given to wit. He understood, as he had theorized, that humor is a form of freedom, a way of stepping back from the weight of existence and seeing it from a new angle. The laughter in his lectures was not a relief from seriousness but an expression of the same spirit that animated everything else: the refusal to be crushed by circumstances, the insistence on remaining human in the fullest sense. The global reception of his ideas also shaped their development. Lecturing in different cultures, engaging with students and clinicians from radically different traditions, Frankl encountered the universality of his core insight again and again. The existential vacuum was not a phenomenon of Western secular modernity alone. The will to meaning resonated in Japan, in India, in South Africa, in Brazil, wherever human beings found themselves asking whether their lives had genuine significance. The cross-cultural reach of logotherapy was not something Frankl had designed for. It was something that emerged, and it confirmed for him that the question of meaning was not contingent on particular historical circumstances but constitutive of human nature as such. The lecture that perhaps most powerfully exemplifies his global impact is one he gave late in life, in which a student asked him how he could still believe in the goodness of the world after everything he had witnessed. Frankl paused, not for dramatic effect but because he was actually thinking. Then he said, "Precisely because I know what human beings are capable of at the worst, I also know what they are capable of at the best. I am not naive. I have seen both. And it is the best that gives me reason to continue." Subscribe to The Psychology of Viktor Frankl to explore more of his timeless ideas.